So I've got 4 tomatoes I'm boiling, and I leave them in there for about 10 seconds. We don't want them mushy, but we really want the heat to permeate around the skin. And sometimes if I only have a small pot, I'll do them one at a time, but I'm going to try to get these all done at once. Here is a bowl of ice water. This technique is called blanching and shocking. That's exactly what it is. And it's the quickest way to get the skin in the condition to come right off. So I'll just turn this off, and right away you can see that the skin in a few of these just starts to pop right off. Just pops right off. So the reason we're doing this today is because we're not really dressing this too much. We want all the juices, and you can see it just slides right off. It's great. We want all the juices of these tomatoes to gather in the bottom of the bowl and then mix with the olive oil and herbs, and that's where the fun is. My grandmother used to call it sugo, which was just the sauce that developed at the bottom of the bowl, and you needed to make sure that you had bread. So what I'm going to do is get these all peeled first before I start cutting them and getting them in the bowl. And you can see how super, super simple it is. It's just great. By the way, this is the same thing you could do with peaches, and I do peel my peaches when I'm making, you know, a peach shortbread or something like that. If it's tomato season where you are, you have to make this salad often. If it's not tomato season, there are lots of great options with tomatoes. A plum tomato is in good shape no matter what. We're just coring these here to get just a little bit of the core out. And I've made this salad when we've had our extended family together, and probably 10, 12, 15 tomatoes. So then just slice it, and you basically want to just have pieces that are bite-sized. When we dress it at the end, we can decide how much olive oil to put in right here in the bowl. And I also use a bunch of different herbs for this. My mom uses just parsley. I like to put basil in there, because is there anything better than basil and fresh tomatoes? The minute you pull the basil out of the fridge, which I just did, you smell that scent, and it just completely puts you in mind of a Mediterranean meal or of just something fresh and delicious. Certainly something that belongs with tomatoes. And this meal that we're having today with the tomatoes is about as close to a comfort meal as I can get. And guess what? We're not using any meat today. And that's exactly what I do. Once a week, I like to at least have a meal without any meat whatsoever. So our tomatoes are in the bowl, and the next thing I do, I get a good teaspoon of salt over these tomatoes. It allows the juices to pull out, and that's important because we need a really, really saucy, juicy salad here. Next, red onions. About 1 red onion, but it depends on how big it is. This one is not so big. I'll get half of it sliced and then put it in with the tomatoes and see how the two things react with each other, meaning, do I look like I have too much tomato versus red onion? Do I look like I have too much red onion? That's the way it goes with a salad like this. You have to just use your common sense and let your taste buds and your eyes guide you as to what works and what doesn't work. All right, and then just very thinly slice. I remember my brother didn't really love this salad when we were growing up because he didn't love red onions. And now he's the guy who can't get enough red onions. So eventually we all learn. So I'll just stick this in here. And 2 cloves of garlic. Just get these mashed up. And then mince the garlic. And I can smell the tomatoes over here and the herbs over there. And in my head, I know exactly where we're going. To a place that makes me happy, basically. About half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of fresh oregano, which is just the most phenomenal scent right now. I'm bringing in some herbs for this salad. And actually, I am making the most comforting, delicious, meatless meal. I have parsley, and I'll use about a 1/4 cup and just chop it. And for this dish, I like to leave the parsley just a little big. I like to be able to really taste a bite of that parsley. I use it in all different ways, so much so that sometimes I even put big pieces of parsley in a salad with the lettuce and really give it center stage. And then I have beautiful basil. Just smells so great. And the basil I'm not going to chop. I'm just going to tear. It likes being torn gently. It just doesn't bruise so much. I mean, sometimes you chiffonade basil for different reasons, but I just like to tear it and there again have some bigger pieces of basil. And lastly, I am just going to get a nice couple glugs of olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. Buy yourself some decent olive oil. You can buy it in bulk. It's about 3 tablespoons. And then I just put it in my bottle, and we just keep going through it. And it's extra virgin olive oil. All over the place now you can get really good quality olive oil. It's really good for you, and if you use it a lot, it just so pays to get a large quantity of it. You can already begin to see how this juice forms at the bottom of the bowl, and that's what you fight over. You get yourself a nice piece of bread, and you just dip it in there, but I'm not even going to wait for that. I just want to make sure it's seasoned properly, because it should have enough. Yum. That is seasoned properly. Thanks for watching. Hungry for more? Click here for more great recipes, and to subscribe, click here. Check back every week for more craveable recipes, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. And don't forget, head over to our other channels for Everyday Food with Sarah Carey, Martha Stewart Weddings, and the Martha Stewart channel.